to play the shitty games that suck ass. He'd rather have a buffalo take a diarrhea dump in his ear. He'd rather eat the rotten asshole of a roadkill skunk and down it with beer. He's the angriest gamer you've ever heard. He's the angry Nintendo nerd. He's the angry Atari Sega nerd. He's the angry video game nerd.
Alright, let's play some Jag. We've already established that the graphics weren't much of a leap for 64 bits, but graphics aren't everything. Take a look at Tempest 2000. It's an arcade-style game with a three-dimensional feel. It's really addicting and fun to play. Basically, you're in space with a bunch of 3D shapes, just shooting stuff and collecting power-ups. Funny to think that something so simple happens to be one of the best games the Jaguar has to offer. It even has some good kick-ass music. So kick-ass that there was actually a soundtrack on CD. But what's this monster on the cover? Does that ever happen in the game? Let's check out Alien vs. Predator. It's a first-person sort of survival horror thing. You can play as not only the alien and the predator, but as a marine. And with each character, your objectives are completely different. Surprisingly, it's most fun to play as the marine because you have a gun. But with the alien and predator, you have to sneak up on people. Not much to say, but it's another memorable game on the Jaguar. Next up, the big motherfucker of first-person shooters, Doom. This is one of the best console ports of Doom that I've played. It comes as close to the PC version as it gets. But they had to ruin it with one thing. There's no music during the gameplay. Really? Was there any reason not to have music? Did they run out of time? Some might consider it scarier that way, but it would have been nice to have the option. I call this one Silent Doom, so just put on some Slayer and you're all set. So I think I covered most of the real famous Jaguar games, so now let's look at something more obscure. Attack of the Mutant Penguins. I gotta admit, the name alone got my attention. But what the hell's going on? From what I understand, there's a bunch of penguins walking around. They buy tickets and then go into a transformation booth where they become evil mutant penguins. And from there, they go to the Doom scale. Yeah, the Doom scale. They jump in the mouth and then appear on the scale. So you gotta stop the penguins by using a weapon, for example, a baseball bat. How do you get the bat? You gotta collect letters that spell the word bat. Where do you find the letters? Inside treasure chests. But how do you open the treasure chests? A key, right? No! Gremlins! Yeah, you collect what they call gremlins, and supposedly you drop the gremlins inside the treasure chest and then it opens. But no, it doesn't open right away. It takes like 10 seconds. The more gremlins you use, the faster it opens. But it doesn't open, it like explodes. When you get the bat, you gotta kill all the penguins, but they don't die if you hit them. Instead, there's a bunch of power orbs that scatter all over. You gotta get all the power orbs to power up your bat so you can kill the penguins. But you only kill the penguins wearing hats because the ones that don't wear hats fight the ones that do wear hats. If the mutant penguins on the Doom scale outweigh the regular penguins, the Doom scale starts screaming and going apeshit. This is the weirdest game I've ever played. I mean, it's not bad if you're drunk or high or something, but how did they come up with this shit? I got it. I could come up with a game like this. How about you're a shark and you gotta shake palm trees till trains fall down, and you put the trains in an apple, and then turkeys come and eat the apples, and then the turkeys go up waterfalls, and to get them down, you have to collect monkey butts. So you drop the monkey butts on power lines, and then... Alright, what's next?
Tatsume Ninja!
A fighting game, and a really bad one. Most fighting games have a character select screen. In fact, all of them have that, right? Well, not this one. Instead, it's got this weird first-person sort of thing. You walk around and touch statues to pick your character. It's so awkward. How did they fuck up something as easy as a select screen?
Entering the combat zone.
Even worse, when playing the one-player mode, you only get a choice of playing as two characters. You have to beat the other characters to unlock them. That alone makes it more of a pain in the ass than it has to be. The game itself is pretty much a Mortal Kombat clone, with every hit making pools of blood fall down, and it even has death moves. But it's also one of those games that wimps out by censoring the violence. You have to put in a parental password just to turn the blood on. Basically, it's just a 6-digit code. But what's the chance of kids not figuring out the code before their parents do? But once it's unlocked, you still need to set the level of blood. So in case you want there to be a little bit of blood, but not too much, like who the fuck cares? Just turn the goddamn blood on. The control is horrible. It's almost as bad as Shaq Fu. I'm not kidding. The attacks are sluggish, there's not much strategy, and you'll never guess how to do the special moves. You try everything, back forward kick, down forward punch, half circle back punch, you know, the typical stuff. But none of that works, so you gotta either maybe have the instruction manual or go on the internet to get the moves. You gotta hold the C button, like instead of down forward C, you gotta hold C while you do it. Why couldn't it be something more common? I think one basic important thing in any fighting game is being able to pick it up and play. And the special moves are ridiculous. Like, what is this? He shoots fireballs at his dick? Or maybe it's a gaping flame vagina? Who the fuck knows? Somebody was not right in the head. This game is fucking horrible. How do you wash down the bad taste of one shitty game with another? Cybermorph. I already mentioned that this one looks worse than Star Fox, but let's give it a chance.
Good luck. Where did you learn to fly?
What's with this green face? It's disturbing.
Where did you learn to fly?
Stop talking to me.
Where did you learn to fly? Where did you learn to fly?
Every single time you hit something, it says that.
Where did you learn?
Knock it off. God, the mountains come out of nowhere. They just pop up, giving you no time to react. And when you die, it picks you up right where you left off. Sometimes I complain about games making you start back at the beginning, but this one literally puts you right back where you are. Imagine if in Super Mario Brothers you run into a Goomba and die. Okay, then what? Does it start you right in front of the Goomba again?
Where did you learn
That
to
voice
fly?
just never
Where
stops.
did you learn to
Shut
fly?
up.
Where did you learn to fly? Where did you learn to fly? Where did you learn
Come
to
on!
fly?
That's enough of that.
Where did you learn to fly?
Oh, gotta get out of my head.
Where did you learn to fly? Where did you learn to fly? Where did you learn to fly?
Oh, I gotta get out of my head.
Where did you learn?
I gotta get out of my head.
Where did you learn to fly?
Stop!
Where did you learn to fly?
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Where did you learn to fly?
Where'd you learn to be an asshole? Jaguar, I've had all I can take. You're the most fucking... Did you just growl at me? Oh god! What do I do? Take this, kitty! Sick him! Yeah, that's the real Jaguar! Well, okay, we played a few Jaguar games. We played a sports game, a side-scroller, a first-person shooter, a fighting game, a racing game, and a flying game. We played some good games, some bad games, and overall, makes me want to puke. Like a cat. And then what do? They make a CD add-on. Yeah, the fucking Jaguar CD. There's something about this that perplexes me. You have a game console that not many people owned, so you make an add-on that requires owning the game console. What were they thinking? It should have just been its own individual game system. Besides, the fucking thing has its own AC adapter, so that's two. One for the Jaguar and one for the Jaguar CD. And that's some cool looking design. It looks just like a toilet. Yeah, it's a fucking toilet. What a perfect analogy. I would review some games, but there's one problem. Fucking bastard doesn't work. Not even the cartridge slot, so I can't even play my regular Jaguar games while this thing's connected. I tried using different AC adapters, but nothing worked. It simply won't read the disc. So I sent this broken piece of shit to my friend Richard to see if he could fix it. He invented the Nintoaster, a fully functional NES made out of a toaster. He also made the Super Gen-Atari, which plays NES, SNES, Genesis, and Atari 2600 games. So game mechanisms are his specialty. If he can't fix it, then it's fucked. Here's his diagnosis.
Yes, the Atari Jaguar CD. What a steaming pile of fucking shit that was. I want to make sure there's nothing wrong with the console itself first, just to rule it out. So I plug in a game, push the power button, the Jaguar logo comes careening towards me in the foreground, and after a particularly hilarious fucking startup sequence, I'm playing some Tempest 2000. Whoa! So now I know there's nothing wrong with the console itself. Time to move on to the CD unit. So I plug it in, hook up the additional 47 cables that came with it, push the power button, the logo comes careening towards me in the foreground, snarls, and the red screen of death indicating a connection problem. So, the first thing I did was deep clean every single contact point on both the console and the CD unit. I turned it on, red screen. Then I went back and made physical adjustments to every contact point in both the console and CD unit so it'd make a more solid connection. Turned it on, red screen. Finally, I just said fuck it and directly wired those two sons of bitches together, completely bypassing any and all cartridge ports and ruling out the remote chance of there ever being any kind of connection issue between the two systems. I turned it on, and guess what? Red screen! So at this point, I pretty much just gave up and shipped everything back to him, along with a Pong machine, which pretty much just says, I'm sorry, man, this thing is just too shitty for me to work on. I think between the flaming fuck you middle finger red screens and getting snarled at the same time, this machine has become self-aware and does not want to be repaired. That is my diagnosis. Richard out.
Well, thanks for trying. And thanks for the Pong console. Would you believe that a 30-year-old Pong console attached to a cell phone adapter would work, but a cutting-edge snarling Jaguar doesn't? There's something wrong here. And you know what? I blew $250 on this thing. So, you know what I did? Bought another one. Yeah. And guess what? It doesn't work either. So that's about $450 total I blew on two dead Jaguars. And these things are rare, so when the only two that I can manage to get my hands on just don't work, that leads me to believe that these things most definitely are self-aware. They don't want to work. You can't make them. They just refuse to be reviewed. And I've never had that happen. So, the end. I gotta take a shit.
Game of all time.